Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our today's webinar, Building Enterprise AI. Today we are going to cover how Cloudaeon has built a RAG, MCP, and Agentic framework. And we will also talk about how to de-risk your delivery from building an AI framework. Since people are joining right now, let's give a pause for a couple of minutes so that everyone can join in and we'll kickstart our webinar. Meanwhile, I will request you to enter from where you are logging in. It would be much appreciated. Thank you. I could see people are joining from different part of the world, different part of the geography. Someone has joined in from US, someone has joined from Berlin. Good, I think we have a crowd which is coming from all over the geography. And let's kick start. Let's look into today's agenda, what we are going to discuss in next 60 minutes or so. And it's going to be very interesting. Let's do a quick intro, and then as a panel discussion, we will talk about what we hear from the market and what our CIO asks us when we talk about the AI and implementation of AI. And then we are going to show you a demo wherein we built over the years how the RAG works, how the MCP works, how the handshake happens, and how the agentic AI is going to rule over the world, right? So let's show the demo. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, you just post your questions into the chat window, and then we'll collect all the questions and we'll try to answer them. Or at the end, if the time doesn't permit, we will send you the answers over you through the email. And then we'll talk about what could be the next thing. Okay, now let's move into introducing ourselves along with the panel members. I'm Rajkumar, a Chief Architect in Cloudaeon. I've been working on the latest and emerging technology for over the decades, and my role is to see how we could able to help the customer to take them into the journey of the new emerging technology. And today we'll be covering how we can able to take you towards the AI journey. Over to you, Amal.
Hi guys, this is Amol here. I'm co-founder and CTO at Cloudaeon. And I'm looking forward to share what we have learned talking to various our customers while they are on their AI journey.
Yeah, Asutosh.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashutosh. I'm a lead AI engineer here at Cloudaeon. I look after the delivery of AI engineering applications and the development.
Yeah, thank you, Amol and Asutosh, for joining today's webinar. And thanks everyone from all over the place who has dialed in to understand about the today's webinar and see how we could able to take it into your own organization. Let's start with a very hard truth. What the Gartner says, right? 80% of enterprise AI pilot never reach production. The problem isn't the model, it's how they are engineered, governed, and scaled. So do you think why this is the reason? So what we heard from multiple CIOs and our discussion with multiple peoples, these are the top three barriers which we keep hearing it. One is AI is not, they treat AI like a traditional software, but it's not the case. And there are a lot of hidden R&D cost wherein it was unable to justify the business outcome. And the third one is the most classical thing, which is basically control versus continuity. The people keeps thinking, everyone keeps thinking whether the data is going to reside within my own premise, whether the data goes out of my premise, how it's going to happen, who owns the IP, right? So all those things and how we are going to maintain all those things, what happens, it fades away, moving your pilot into the production. So now in today's session, we are going to explain how we are actually managing these scenarios with our own accelerators and how to move forward into a pilot to a production. Now let's talk about what's happening in the market when we talk to the CIO, right? So there are a lot of technology companies like Microsoft, Google, and Databricks. Everyone is coming up with a new AI trend. Everyone is coming up with their own model, right? So what happened is it's the same functionality. It's getting overlapped, and everyone is coming and doing an R&D, and like many of the CIOs, like many of you people, will get struggle. Which one should I need to move forward with? Do I get vendor locked with, let's say, if I go with Microsoft, whether I get vendor locked over there, whether all my AI journey stops there? So there are a lot of confusion is happening over here. So that's where we have Amul over here who has seen this in and out with every customers which he is talking towards. He will throw some lights on it. What do you think, Amul? How do the CIOs and how you are helping the other customers to overcome these barriers?
Thanks, Raj. Yeah, this is quite interesting. And I am kind of quite fascinated when I hear more about non-technical barriers rather than the technical barriers. So I think technology, if you see AI advancement in last 6 months, it's quite fast and rapid. And I am hearing it from a lot of CXOs. They are more fearful about their own strategy because big enterprises take time. Like once they put a strategy in place, it takes kind of a time for them to kind of assemble the team, and then they kind of bring all the kind of tools in place and then talk to the partners. And this takes like give or take like close to 4 to 6 months. And by that time, the AI has moved so fast, they say, oh, now we need to redo our strategy. And that's a kind of a very scary thing for CXOs. And we thought like maybe technology is one thing. Of course, you need to build expertise. But what I would like to kind of bring in today's webinar, like some of the principles which are guiding us to make AI journey more faster and then the successful in any enterprises. So we built some of our principles, and these are not the principles which we came on our own. These are the principles which we learn from our customers. So I would like to kind of take you through these principles and why it matters.
Oh, interesting. So we are not doing something like what's happening. So we are a structured. We create our own structure, created our own principles, which guides to ensure that we could able to scale. That's an excellent Amal. Why can't you talk more about those principles?
True, and then I
Rishi,
wouldn't say,
you
right,
just great.
Raj, these are our principles. These are the principles which we came up after talking to our customers. So, as a technology company, we always believe that the like technology is the one thing, and then but then making that technology delivering the value is completely another thing. So that's like we learn these principles by talking to our customer, working with them, um, doing a lot of AI R&D and that sort of a thing. So yeah, it's I would really want to like maybe some of our customers might be joining today's call. So maybe I really want to kind of thank them for their kind of valuable insights to shape our principles.
Amal, it looks interesting when you talk about the principles. Do you want to talk about each of the principles and how each of the organization gets benefit out of it?
Thanks, Raj. Thanks. These, what you see on the screen, these are our key AI principles, which we learned from our customers working on the AI for last a few years. Now, like you cannot see these principles in like siloed, like one principle on its own. Like all these are kind of a linked. That's why the kind of a figure shows you like, okay, here, like, okay, all these are linked with each other. Let me kind of go through like each one of them very briefly. One of the topmost thing is de-risk AI delivery, because at the moment all of the CXOs, all the head of AIs, like quite worried because the technology is moving at very fast pace, and if they kind of want to do any R&D, it takes time for enterprise customers to kind of move at a pace the technology is moving. And at the same time, there is no certainty on the return on investment. And that's where the Cloudaeon comes. Take ownership of delivering that value by building the AI apps. So therefore, we are shifting the risk from our customer to ourselves. And the reason we are able to do that, you will be able to see it in our demo, because we built quite a lot of reusable IPs, which we can implement for delivering your AI application. So that's sort of a risk which we can take. And then we do not see ourselves as a kind of another vendor. We are a partner on the AI delivery to our customers. So we are all kind of a hand in gloves kind of a thing. We will take risk for your initial proof of value. You need to give us a use case. That's kind of a basic ask there. And at the end of it, like, you own IP. All the work which we do, any reusable assets which we bring in, what we have developed is yours to use down the line. And at the same time, like, there is always a confusion saying that, okay, you know what, guys, we have built a lot of we spend a lot of time discuss with our partner like Microsoft, Databricks, even OpenAI, and then we come up with some strategy. And then we completely understand that, okay, you have your own way or your own journey to take on to the AI. And that's where we say it's a client-led strategy. We can help you to co-lead that strategy, but it's mostly the client-led strategy because you know your business better. And then Cloudaeon filled in the skill gaps. Cloudaeon bring in the reusable asset. Cloudaeon bring in our R&D work to the table. So, like, we can see the faster result on the AI side. But for us, it's like the work is not stopped there only, like, because even though your application goes into the production, um, it's not any other software. Like, because I remember some of the Excel macros been built like 20 years back, still running as expected today. But the AI application is completely different. There is a model drift happen. Then there may be a decision saying that, okay, why do we use some costly LLM model for this purpose? Can I not use some other models? And sometimes, like, the most of the time is like the user feedback, your context change, your data change, and then therefore or maybe the user feedback tells you like some correction needed to be done in the output. And that's where the AI ops and the continuous improvement is very key. And we really proud because we kind of a company who started with the data and the cloud expertise, and now that's really built a very good layer for us, where we see cloud as an infrastructure and then the data. And then because of that background, we understand the continuous improvement, continuous development. And that's what we are going to apply, which we are going to apply in the AI delivery also, which you will see in a moment when you see a demo. So all in all, like, all these principles are core to anything what we do on the AI side. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, from my side. Yeah.
So excellent, Amol. So you summed it up perfectly. And see, if you see it, so your AI is as good as your data, right? So like what Amol mentioned, so we build a platform from cloud to data to AI. So we know exactly how the things interlock each other. And like what Amol rightly mentioned, right? So it's an extended arm. We own the complete delivery risk, but the IP owns with you, right? You build the strategy, we are there, we'll come and build you the strategy what you built. Isn't it good, right? So how does this, Amol, all those things plays into our delivery model? Do you want to throw some light on our delivery model? Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, Raj, because like, um, principally the one thing, like, sometime without action it seems like very hollow things, right?
Okay.
And we want to kind of put our money where our mouth is. So, like, telling the principle and not showing it in the delivery, it's kind of not going to work. So that's where we all our expertise working on the AI last few years, building lots of proof of value for our customers, and trying out a lot of technologies, almost everything. Like, maybe Ashutosh would be able to kind of tell you in the demo, we almost kind of worked on most of the technology out there. What does that bring to us? Like, the expertise, that kind of a de-risking capabilities, where we can build a proof of value in 4 to 6 weeks time. That's a kind of a a very good outcome, because that is a point where you can say go, no go sort of a things based on the outcome of any AI use case. At the same time, I want to kind of mention, while we're doing the proof of value, we always think this is a kind of a reusable, like even though your the business outcome is not as expected, but then the work you have done, we create assets in such a way it could be reusable for some other things. Uh, and once we build a proof of value, you think, okay, this sounds good, and then maybe how do we move to the production? And that's where actual expertise, actual hands-on knowledge comes into the picture. Because building a proof of value, probably you might be able to do this, creating some, like, the quick and dirty POC using some code generator AI there. But moving into the production is a completely different thing, because it needs the correct infrastructure which can scale. It needs the kind of a correct guardrails, like around your LLM models. It needs some security around it, and then it's need a control. And at the same time, it needs the learning mechanism, like the user feedback. So therefore, you can kind of understand from the user feedback. The testing is so important for AI application, and that's where, because since we work on this framework so extensively, we can kind of put all our knowledge to that, and that's why we can move things to the production. That's your scale. And sustain, I think my personal kind of a favorite here is a sustain, and I'm thinking not from my side but from a customer's benefit point of view. Because start and scale is fine, but then the sustain is very important, because you may start with one single AI application, but if you do not have a correct strategy, how are you going to kind of support more AI applications? You will always be fearing, saying that, okay, oh, I got like more application now, I need to put a support framework around it, how I'm going to kind of scale this. And then that kind of has a drag on effect on any new initiatives business is asking you to use, implement using AI. So the sustain, which is your AI ops, where we come take a ownership or manage 24/7, or maybe take a AI application, bring managed services, our managed service expertise, what we had in the data and ML ops, to AI also. And then always keep on checking on the whether the model is performing right, is the user feedback is giving right signals to improve something, or maybe a cost actually, because sometimes you don't know, like the application is really good but then cost is too high, and then is there anything which we can do about it? So it's a kind of a proactiveness which we bring in during that phase, and that's a kind of a long-term platform mechanism for you to kind of get most out of your AI strategy. Yeah.
Excellent, Amol. So yeah, it's start, scale, and sustain. It looks wonderful. And like what you said, right? So sustain is something is not an afterthought process. It's right from your starting of the stage. You start thinking about how the AI model works, how the training happens, value feedbacks, right, and the cost, which Amol mentions. It's excellent. Amol, see, some of the people says that the whole thing will take more than 6 months to execute. How are we seeing it here?
Yes, and that's why I think, like, okay, all our principles could be hollow words, like if we are not able to deliver at a faster speed. And I think that's where, when you see our demo, which is, we call it Cloudaeon AI Hub, and it's not a product, it's a value add accelerator, which can be yours. This all framework, what we have built, can be implemented inside client's environment. It can be bolt on to build some more reusable component. You can consider this as a kind of a framework which is kind of reusing the pre-developed code, and helping you to kind of control your AI applications in a way which is more governed, more secured, and you can do some more cost analysis on that also. So, like, without a further ado, I think it's good if we can kind of dive into the actual demo of all of these things, how this could be helpful for anyone.
Yeah, yes, I think everyone is eager to see how the accelerator is going to behave. So over to you, Asutos, who can show our Cloudaeon AI Hub demo. So the accelerator, which has been built based on all our experiences and all our lessons learned. Over to you, Asutos.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Amol. Before starting the actual demo, I would like to give some information about it. Uh, so this particular RAG accelerator includes three major uh, parts of AI systems nowadays, and that is RAG, MCP, and Agentic AI. RAG is your retrieval augmented generation kind of pipeline, and uh, enhancing the overall uh, knowledge of your LLM by providing it a context. So that is your RAG, and MCP server is nothing but giving access to the external entities for your agents so that you can enhance its capability, so that it can use these external tools to perform a real world action instead of just being having a generating text. And the third one, your agentic system, or the multi-agent systems, which have different agents working together to solve a single problem or to perform certain task. So these three major things encompasses the whole modern agentic AI or modern AI systems, for that matter. And with the RAG accelerator, we have tried to consolidate these three major ones and have this platform available for as a token of research that we have done here at Cloudaeon. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so before starting, just to let you guys know, to save time, we have pre-recorded the demo. I will be playing that video, and I'll take you guys through and explaining what is exactly happening at every step in this video. So yeah, let's begin. So this is our login screen of the RAG Accelerator application. Here we can see a credential needs to be given in terms of login to the system, and this is how you provide them. So yeah, this is where we get after successful login, and you can see on the left hand side we have various menu options available. On top bar, we can see on the left hand side there is a drop down for different workspaces, and on top right corner you can have a user settings. So before moving ahead with the actual usage of this application, let me explain you a quick setup that you need to do before starting the uh, usage of this application. So you would need to set up a workspace to use it, and you can do that by going into this workspaces section, where you would create a new workspace and give the information such as the workspace name and description, and you can create one workspace for your use. So this is how it looks. These are the workspaces that we have already created, and you can also add users. You need to add users in terms of making it available for others. And this is how you create a user by giving the information such as the email ID and uh, the related information. So yeah, apart from this, you need three very important connections. That is your LLM, vector database, and data source. And you can create LLM connection by going into this LLM setting. So we have changed the workspace to show you guys the already created LLM connections. So this is the pre-existing connections, and you can create a new one by going into this add connection and selecting the provider, the model, and uh, providing the information such as endpoint and API token. You can test it and then you can add it to the system. And moving ahead, we have to create vector DB connection by going into vector DB settings. These are pre-created vector database connection. You can create a new one by going into this window and select provider. Similar to LLM, you have to again provide the information about that vector database. You can test the connection and add the new connection when the test connection is successful. So yeah, this is how you create a vector database connection. And the third one is data sources. So for data sources, you have to go to this particular screen and uh, enter the information such as what data source you want to create, the name of it, what type you want to create. So there are various types that you can create. So one of them being uh, a website. Other could be a different uh, storage accounts that you can use to create a data source connection. And here you also need to select the vector database where you would store the converted vectors into. So yeah, this is how you create a data source. And so after successfully creating a data source, this should trigger a pipeline which would convert all the data sources into readable format. I mean, readable as in readable to the LLMs or useful with the LLMs, and that is vectors. So here you can see a status, a duration, when it was started, how much time it took, and you can also see the job runs inside the each job, and you can rerun the job with a new run if you think that you need to rerun this job in terms of getting a latest information from your data source. You can also schedule the job. So if you think that you need to rerun this job on a timely manner in automated way, so you can do that by going into this scheduling setting. So you can schedule this job for different types: daily, weekly, monthly, and you can also enter the time and the time zone. So this is very helpful in terms of having uh, these pipelines run in automated fashion instead of manually running it, so that if your data is changing frequently, and by frequently I mean daily or a couple of days of week, or uh, one day a week, or any type of cron job, or the cron expression you can also use to schedule your job. You can also check the logs of every job by going into this section where you can view the log, and this gives you a detailed information about what exactly happened in this job or in this particular run, and what went well and what went wrong, so that you can correctly debug the run, and you can make the changes in your application to make it work as expected. So yeah, that is data ingestion pipeline. So now that we have all things ready, and now we can start using this application. And okay, so before actually starting the chat, let me tell you about uh, this particular use case. So bakery manual is a e-manual used by one of our customers to run their bakery operations. And the bakery manual is a online uh, website that is used by the bakery staff to ask, not particularly ask, but to look for the information related to their day-to-day bakery operations. And the problem that they were facing is in terms of getting information, they had to manually go on the website and look for that information by going page by page if they don't know about the sections. And that was a tiresome task to do on a daily basis. And even in the rush hours, they had to do the same thing in terms of getting the crucial information out of it. So the solution was definitely the RAG. So having all the information stored into the vector database and using LLM's power to search through that information in semantic manner to get the correct information from that vector database. So that is what we have tried to solve with this in this use case. And for that, we have this data source bakery manual. And this contains various data types like images, videos, PDFs, and a link to different data sources. So all this, all these media types have been included, and uh, we have done a web scraping to convert this data into vectors and stored it into vector database. Uh, so let's start by asking some questions. I think we should have prepared some questions for the demo, and we should be pasting it anytime now. Yeah, there it is. So after asking this question, it will use its uh, information from the vector database so that it can uh, get the most relevant information out of it. And that is what it have done, it seems. So this is the answer to the question, and it have used its knowledge from the vector database to answer this question. And you can tell that by looking at the citations at the end. So every answer comes with the citations, how that answer was generated, and all the facts that are coming from the vector database, and where exactly that information is coming from, the actual sources. We are showing it in the sources section, that is your citations. So once we open the citations, we would see different uh, media types. Here you can see images, you can see a link, and so on. So this gives you a confidence about your answer and how exactly it have been formed, so that you can open each one of these links and images and you can see the actual facts where this answer has been generated from. So this again gives us a confidence about whether the LLMs are hallucinating or not. And here it seems that they are not, because we are generating the answer based on the strong facts and the sources that are actually there. So, okay. So with the sources, you can see one more thing at the end, and that is your feedback form. So here we can see this is the feedback form that is available below your sources. And if you think that particular answer is not right, or if you think that is that answer is right, you can give such feedback. Here for demo purpose, we are providing a negative feedback, and we are including that or we are informing that to not include certain information in the answer. And now that if we ask the same question again, we would see it in action. So just because we have added this new information, it will use that information as a new context, and it will try to follow those instructions. So it seems that it have excluded that product ticketing point from this answer. It have retained the other points, maybe representing in a different form, but in and all, the information that we asked it deliberately to not include is not included in the newer answer. So this particular feedback actually goes into the MLflow system. So we have included the MLflow UI in here. You can see all your experiments in it. You can go to your experiment and you can look for the traces. So this is this is very helpful in terms of debugging the LLM requests. And here you can see the actual assessment that we have provided, or the feedback that we have provided along with the rationale. So this is helpful in terms of debugging and knowing where exactly or how exactly the LLMs are responding to our queries. And that is how it helps in terms of traceability of the overall application. So now moving ahead, I think, let me, okay. Now let's talk about the MCP servers. This is the drop down that we use to add an MCP server to your chat, and this will help you enhance your overall chat experience, because now we are performing an external tools activity. And again, it's completely safe. You can use your own MCP servers, your own hosted MCP servers that are within your environment, and the complete process will be isolated to maintain the data privacy of the application. So this is how you select an MCP server. So this is Cloudaeon hosted MCP server, Outlook email MCP. And we have prepared some question to make use of this MCP server. And this is that question. So we are asking a question and we are asking it to send the answer to an email address. So what this will do is it will make use of the information from the MCP server, and that information is the details about what capabilities that MCP server has, what different tool it has, so that the overall system can make use of it to connect with the other entities of the whole system. And here it will use the email tool, that is the send email tool within the Outlook email MCP server, and it will try to send an email to that person based on the answer that we get. And the response here says clearly that it have successfully sent an email to this email ID. And let's see if we have received an email. Uh, so yeah, there it is. So we have received an email with the closing tasks for the day, and all the information that is being generated for that particular question. And if we go to these tools, let me just, yeah, so here you can see the tool shows us which exact tool has been used for performing this activity, and it says send email was the tool, and this was the message or the response from the tool itself. So yeah, that is about MCP server. So uh, with MCP server settings, you can create your own MCP servers. You can host them in your own environment, and then you can add those settings by going into the MCP server settings that you can see on the left-hand side menu. So it's similar to what we have with other settings. You can manage all the MCP server settings, and currently we are supporting two types of MCP servers. That is your already hosted MCP server. You can use any third-party MCP server as well, or you can create your own MCP servers, host them into one of the platforms such as npm.js or PyPy, and you can use that build as a tool or as a whole MCP server in this application. So those are the two types of MCP servers that you can use with this application. Now moving ahead with agents. So agent, here you can manage the agent, you can create, you can edit, or you can delete the agents. Uh, this is how you create one, giving title, the description. Description is nothing but the instruction you want to give to agent, how it needs to perform and what activities it needs to do. Then we have these MCP servers. You can attach MCP servers also with your agents, and this is how you select them for each of your agent. So you can select multiple MCP servers as well to give access to various tools to your agents. So for this demonstration purpose, we have created these 4 agents. Uh, so by looking at them, you might have already understood that this is something for the data comparison, and yes, it is. So this demo will uh, show us how we can do the product comparison analysis or competitor analysis for a product. And these are the agents that we are going to use. So ideally we would drag and drop these into canvas, but for the demo purpose we have already created one, and that is what we are going to select from this drop down. So this is how it looks. So every agent here is connected to every other agent in the system, and here we can see all 4 agents being included in this whole system, where every agent will talk to each other in terms of achieving some task. So what exactly would happen is the request that is given by you would be going through this whole system, and the basic or the very first agent that we have set as a default agent would be the first to respond in here. So for example, web search would be the first or the default agent in this whole system. And we call it a swarm architecture, uh, the alternative name is network architecture. And you can start chatting with this whole system by clicking on the start chat button. Uh, okay, and we can see the whole agent system on the left, and we can start asking questions to it. So the one question that we have prepared for this demo is to do product analysis or a competitor analysis for a certain product. So we should be able to see the prompt right now. So yeah, this is the prompt. So we are giving a URL and asking it to uh, do an analysis, competitor analysis, and create an Excel workbook and send it to this email ID. So this should be able to perform all these steps. And as we saw that the first default agent here is web search agent. So it should be able to start from that agent in terms of starting giving out the answer about what exact steps it is performing. And that is exactly what we can see on the right hand side is the web search agent being executed, or it have started executing all these steps. And the first step that it have done is doing a web search, and it shows that it have found some information about the competitors. And now the agent is thinking about the next step, and it seems that it have transferred it to Excel generator agent, it seems, along with its input and what exactly it is passing on to the next agent. And it seems that it have passed on all the information that Excel generator agent will use to create the Excel workbook. And that is what is happening here. It is creating a worksheet, then uh, into that sheet it is adding all the information that it have gotten from previous agent, creating a table, formatting the ranges. So all these tools are within the Excel MCP server, which is being used by Excel generator agent. And it will try to perform as many tools as possible in terms of generating the final outcome that it can use it to pass it to next agent. And right here we can see that next agent is the email agent, and it have completed its execution now. And here we can see it have successfully sent an email of the Excel sheet it have generated. Let's see how we have received that email. So yeah, this is the email that we have received, and uh, here we can see an Excel is being attached, and that we can open and we can see what exact information we have got. So we go to this sheet, competitor products, and here we can see all the competitor uh, product list that we have got uh, as compared to the product that we have given to it. So here we can see information such as product name. The second column has specification, and we also have URL. So we can go to those URLs and we can see what products we have uh, got as a competitor analysis. So we can improve this, improve the performance of the agent by uh, changing the prompt or the changing the description that we have given to this agent so that it can perform better as compared to the previous runs. So this overall gives us the uh, idea about how exactly the multi-agent system works with each other and how they perform in this RAG accelerator application. So what happening in the background is each and every agent is talking to each other to achieve certain goal. And in this scenario, we have already given it a goal to perform the uh, whole task, such as finding the information and sending it to some email ID. So this is so all of this usage you can track by going into the usage dashboard menu. So this usage dashboard menu will give you information such as the cost, the time, and that too with very much of a detailed manner, and that also includes the success rate of your responses. What was the average response time for your uh, overall responses of chats? You can also get usage trends and usage by workspace, and you would also get detailed usage analytics such as cost distribution throughout various components like workspaces, chats, users, LLMs, and data sources. So you can make a better decision of which components to be continued to be used or which one you want to discard, and you would get a comprehensive uh, kind of a report by looking at this dashboard uh, about where exactly each and every spend went. So yeah, that covers the usage dashboard. Now, talking more about the overall improvements of this application that are in line, the first and foremost is the implementation of caching mechanism, and that will be done at two parts. First one would be done at vector database level, where a semantic search or a semantic caching would be implemented for semantic search, and that will help in terms of instead of going and converting each and every word again and again into vectors by using the vector LLMs, we would simply use the caching mechanism to do that, saving a lot of cost in terms of vectorization process. And other one is implementing caching at the actual uh, questioning level. So instead of always going to LLM to ask the question, we would have a certain safety window of time, and that could be 5 or 10 minutes. And within that time frame, if someone else asks the same question that previous user have asked, then we would reply with the same answer that we've got for the previous user. And that again, not just as simple as that, but we would perform similarity search of the questions and the similarity between the data sources and the other factors that are included in the caching techniques. So yeah, that is the overall uh, RAG accelerator we have, and it has as we have saw, it has all three major components of the AI system: your RAG, MCP, and agentic system, uh, comprehensive of all the modern AI technologies. So yeah, that's it about RAG accelerator. If you have any question, feel free to ask that in a chat box, and we will be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Asutosh. Yeah, so Asutosh has shown the complete RAG and he's shown the MCP. and how the handshake happens with the agentic AI. And this is what the Cloudaeon AI hubs. So we could able to relate back with what Amul has mentioned initially on those principles, which has been covered. So Amul, one curiosity from everything, right? So what made you to build this one? So what are the key three takeaways from this?
Yeah. I think it's a very interesting. I might kind of, if I, because there are multiple angles or multiple points you can mention about, but I think the main three takeaways was we were listening more to our customers, and then was always coming up like a freedom of using right technology, right? So we thought like maybe as you can see in the Cloudaeon AI Hub, you can choose and pick what LLM model needed. Is it like whether it is already hosted by OpenAI, or it could be a Llama model, or maybe any other model like hosted in your own environment. Depends on like what is the need, or the vector databases, or maybe a MCP server. You kind of hosted your own MCP server, that sort of thing. So like it's giving you a freedom to use technology what works for your use case. It could be a mix of Databricks, Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, that sort of thing. So like that, it was kind of a major key takeaway, like giving a freedom. The I would say like the second would be the IP, right? So our approach to this, the whole building whole Cloudaeon AI hub is like uh, it's your own IP, like it's a client's own IP. We can have this AI hub as an accelerator to kickstart your AI journey. And then have this framework, have this kind of things what we have developed hosted inside your client application, and then the client can kind of either ask Cloudaeon to rebuild some of the things on top of this, or maybe they can kind of build something on themselves. So like this is, there is no lock-in or as such. And the reason this is possible because of the reusable IP and then shareable IP. So whatever we are spending on our R&D, we want to kind of pass on whatever we learn, create as a reusable asset, and then pass on to our clients as a kind of a shared resources for them either to reuse exactly like this, or maybe improvise there, or maybe ask us to kind of put this to some more bespoke way of working. So I would say like freedom of using technology, owning the IP, and reusable asset. So these are the kind of three takeaways. This is all yours, guys. You can kind of use how you would like to use inside your organization. And we come as a kind of a skill gap, or maybe expediting any of your AI initiatives.
Yeah, thanks, Amol. So now, so the important question which everyone might be thinking right now, how do we engage with Cloudaeon? How it's going to work? How is this the hub is going to be required? Some of you might be in a different capability in your journey with AI. Some might need to start the AI journey. Some might needs to go into the guardrailing. So Amol, what are the offerings that Cloudaeon gives for the people who wants to engage?
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Raj. Thanks. And this is the, I would say like the very important question, because one of our kind of things in our DNA is like meet customer where they are. Right. And the AI Hub was a kind of a way of showcasing our expertise, bring that kind of a confidence, saying that, okay, when we are talking about that, we can deliver you proof of value in 4 to 6 weeks' time. So we kind of are putting, showcasing them that expertise there. So that way we see that. Well, it may be possible like AI Hub may not be the solution for some of our customers, or it could need some more tweaking to it. Or it could be like at this point of time, they may have only one specific problem. Like say, for example, let's say in last 2 years, one of our customers has built a lot of AI applications. right? And then some of them are like in a stage where they are still in a development environment, but then people are using it, and then they needed some help while managing it, like putting the AI ops around it. And therefore, then maybe we implemented them, like we provided them AI ops managed services to manage their AI applications. Same way, there may be a scenario where someone is struggling with kind of a building the repeatable RAG kind of a use cases. Like, so can they have some sort of a pipelines where they don't need to rebuild again RAG things, and then we help them to kind of build the RAG pipelines, which is kind of a reusable components. So you see, like from these offerings, we can kind of meet customer where they are. They can cherry pick how they want to use us. The AI hub is kind of a way to kind of centralizing all your AI things in one application. It might work for some people, it may not work for others. We pretty much flexible, however, and whatever is needed, we can bring expertise to the table.
Thanks, Amol. Now let's get into the Q&A, and we could see a lot of questions has been asked over the time, and we are close on the time right now. We'll pick up 2 or 3 questions now, and then each and every questions which you asked, we'll send an email with an answer for your question. Don't feel that we are not picked your question. So the top question which came in is, how do you predict the cost? So Asutosh, do you have an answer for this?
Yeah, Raj. So, as you might have seen, that we have this usage dashboard in the RAG Accelerator, and that tracks each and every usage of every resource that we have in the accelerator, and that could be your LLMs, your vector databases, and your data sources. So all these resources incurring cost in any way can be tracked in more granular way, so so that you would understand how exactly these resources are incurring the costs and where exactly you can control them by looking at these reports. Some of the changes that we are making into this accelerator are introducing the caching mechanism, which is going to save a lot of uh, uh, cost in terms of uh, the vector database and LLMs. So just to give you guys an example, whatever question that you ask currently are going through this whole system of LLMs and agents to get the answer from the vector database. But at the end, when we use the caching mechanism, a lot of cost would be saved in terms of calling these LLMs and calling these vector databases by simply going through the caching database and retrieving the answers from there. And again, that depends on the time frame that you look for these answers, so that you won't get the outdated data from this caching mechanism. So yeah, so to sum it up, to control the cost or to predict the cost is what we have done with the RAG accelerator, is to use or to have this usage dashboard.
Excellent, excellent. So if you look at it, so it's not only predicting the cost, so it's there. We are also talking about how we optimize the cost. So to optimization of the cost is also taken care. Okay, so the another question which comes on the priority list, Amal, this is for you, and so the question is, yeah, really interesting question. So the question which came is, have you seen anywhere where you've done the proof of concept and it's not moved into the production, like when we started with the first slide, right, with the Gartner what says. So what was the lesson learned, Amal? Have you seen it, and what was the lesson learned?
Yeah, thanks, Raj. Yeah, this is a tough one. Um, yeah, many applications like when we were building in the early days, like could not kind of gone into the production, not that like because the implementation was bad or some other thing, but then the key lesson learned was the most important part of any AI use case or the application, what's the use case, what is the business use case, or what is the value that use case is creating. That was so important. And do you have a right way of testing it? How do you bring the confidence in whatever you build it? The two things, like if you have a right use case and then you have a right testing framework around it, so therefore when it lands onto the end user's hand, they are confident about it. These are the two most important lesson learned. So any new AI use case or any new AI proof of value we do for our customer, these remains like two most important guiding principle for us. So yeah, many applications. We were doing a lot of kind of R&D, various technology. I think we are at a point where the things are more mature now, and then so it's interesting space to look out for. Yeah, so that's kind of my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Amol. Yeah, that's an interesting question, isn't it? So the whole last 1 hour, what we discussed is about what's the lesson learned and how it has been moved from there, right? Yeah, thanks. And we are running short of time. Rest of the questions we'll send an answer through an email. Yep. Before we conclude, Amol, do you want to have any final say?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, thank you very much for all the people who could join this webinar from various places, which we can kind of see. Yeah, I think it's like you might have by now a link in your chat window where you can submit your AI use case for 4-week proof of value or book consultation. Or if you are interested, you can reach out to us at the email address given on the slide for implementing AI Hub in your own environment. Just to summarize, that's like what we have discussed so far. Like Cloudaeon is really driven through the AI principles, which we have kind of a showcase. Our delivery model, which is kind of a highlighting on start, scale, and sustain, and then our expertise, which is showcased using the AI Hub. Yeah, thank you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. See you. Bye.